Hi everyone, welcome back to this rapid game. Today we have the white pieces, 10-0 game. We get into a Queen's Gambit. Slav defense. Okay, let's capture the pawn this time. Let's go for an exchange Slav. So exchange Slav, even though it has a bad reputation as very drawish, it's actually in the right hands can be very dangerous. It sort of allows white to go for a squeeze with a very risk-free type of position. Here we can trade off the bishops, play the move e3. We can try to play the move pawn to f4 here perhaps and try to clamp down the position this way. We're changing the pawn structure a little bit, so we do have to be a little bit careful, but this bishop is not the best piece. Let's go f4 here. Let's try to go for the move knight to f3 and then bishop to d3. Try to clamp down on the center here. Bishop to d3. And let's castle to the king side. So we do have a little bit of an imbalance here in the position, at least with the pawn structure. Knight c6. So natural move would be to play rook to c1. So how do we put more pressure here on the king side? That's the real question. So one of the main ideas in the exchange Slav is to play this maneuver with knight a4 and then hop the knight into the c5 square or b6 square at some point. I can also look at putting pressure on this diagonal. Wonder if bishop to b1 and queen to d3 is an idea here. He's also creating a lot of weaknesses here. So c5 square is quite weak now. I wonder if I can just provoke some weaknesses here with the move queen to d3. Yeah, so we provoke f5. So we have these squares now for our knights. Move my queen back. Maybe he's looking to go g5. I'm thinking of maneuvering my knights into these squares now. So immediately I'm looking for these type of maneuvers to improve my knight and get it to a better square. I can't go to a4, so let's go knight d1, knight f2. At the moment, g5 is not a threat. I just take it. Also, my bishop's not that great, but his bishop is also not that great. It's blocked in by all the pawns. I mean, one thing with these sort of Slav positions or symmetrical type of positions is to be very careful when you're pushing pawns, because whenever you push pawns, you create a lot of weaknesses. So, especially these queenside pawns. Notice I've been very reluctant to touch these pawns on the queen side, just in case a knight ever hops into this square. So we go for our knight maneuver here. So the knight's coming into this square on c5, or perhaps e5, but most likely to c5. Knight c5, and then maybe we bring our bishop back to d3, look to play a4. So yeah, you want to be very careful when you're touching these pawns because you can't move the pawns backwards. So just remember, every time a pawn moves up, you leave some squares behind. So knight comes into c5 square now. a6 pawn is under attack. I don't really want to play knight e5 just yet, because that allows him to capture. I want to create some weakness here which I can attack. At some point, I have some ideas here of playing g4, opening up this g file for an attack. Perhaps in the future I can go for this. So I think this is just a straight up blunder. Just take the knight because the bishop's undefended. Yeah, so now we just clear piece up and exchange up as well now. So yeah, so the most important thing in that position was at the start we did imbalance the position a little bit by playing the move pawn to f4. We didn't have to play f4, but changes the position a little bit. Rook c1. Yeah, I think the mistake here for black was that push the pawns a little bit too early. So you want to be careful here as black in symmetrical position type of structure like this. Just be careful, yeah, pushing those pawns. Bishop here, bishop g6 might have been a much better idea just to get rid of these light squared bishops, and that would totally equalize the position completely, I believe. But after the move pawn to b5, yeah, I still have something to play for now. I have these squares. I'm also trying to provoke more weaknesses. That's why I went queen to d3, trying to get black to play maybe f5 or g6, and giving me some more squares and targets to play for, and that was the idea. So after f5, now I have some targets to play for. That's why I went for this idea. If knight a5, I was always happy to play b3 in these positions as well to stop knight c4. But yeah, this is sort of given me a plan which I managed to maneuver the knight in. So always look for ways to improve pieces when you're sort of stuck in the middle game, especially these positions where there's no tactics and position is quite symmetrical. Just look for better squares for your existing pieces and find out how you can get them there. So here the knight gets to c5, and after which white gains like a really big advantage. I get extra plans with like king h1 and g4 which pop up as well. So I hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next rapid game.